All right. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you're joining us. We do not know what just happened technically. The StreamYard was set up just to go for the entire day. And then all of a sudden it just ended. And guess what? Dr. Jennifer Williams, we just kept going until we realized, wait a second, we've
We're
not
by
learned anything live.
ourselves.
So we are modeling patience and what use tech for good looks like. And we just were with Mrs. Brantley's 7th and 8th grade class, which is really exciting because they are actually participating right now in your Take Action Global program. And I just love this lovely segue, although I wish it was with the same StreamYard link. So I am here with Lori Guion, and my colleague Juenia Mez is in the background, joining in from Mexico. But we are excited, and because we are late, we are going to just go in the background and let you take it away.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. So hi, Lori. Hi, Mary Alice. Hi, Juenia. It's great to be back with you all. Congratulations on this exciting day celebrating students and showcasing their work. So my name is Jennifer Williams, and I am joining from Florida in the United States, and I am joined by my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Riley Justice. Hi, Riley.
Hello, how are you?
I am great. We have an action-packed hour, and I think we'll probably get ready to dive right in. But Riley and I can give the classrooms who are joining a little bit of context on what we're going to be sharing for this hour. So in the opening session, you heard from our friend Heather and her students about ways they're using Mundo and AI to take action for good for our planet. This is a very special month, April being Earth Month, and we are gearing up for Earth Day on April 22nd. But Riley and I get to work on this idea of sustainable development, taking action for the planet and for people every day, all year long. So we have a roadmap to help us along the way, and that is called the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So these are 17 goals that we as a world came together and agreed upon in the year 2015. So I know some people that are joining, they were probably even just being born around that time. But this roadmap, these goals have an expiration date, which is 2030. So we're mostly focused on SDG 4, which is all about education, SDG 13, which is about climate action. But we're working with schools all around the world to take on all of these global goals. So we have a program, and I'll let Riley share a little bit about one of our programs. And we get to bring together 100 global schools from all across the planet to take action on these SDGs. And you're going to hear from a few of them today. So Riley, tell us about Climate Action Schools and where we're at as we enter April with some of our programs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jen. I'm really excited to be here and talk at this point because as we saw this last year in the United Nations General Assembly, we are at the halfway point of the SDG movement across the globe. So we're looking back at what we have accomplished so far and looking forward to what we can do. And we're having that pep time or that pep talk, that halftime chat, which some of our schools will talk about today. But when we approached this challenge here at Take Action Global, we said, what can we do to make a difference in our school communities around the world? And we came together with teachers and content experts and really developed a program that we call the Climate Action Schools program. And what we do is we focus on the development of you as educators, you as students, and you as learners to really take in this whole idea of becoming a climate action activist, a climate action educator, and somebody that's going to move the needle forward throughout the year. So we do this over 10 months. So the entire school year, we start very slowly to roll out this whole idea of climate action learning, the different processes that it takes, the different concepts that we're going to explore, and working with teachers, school districts, leaders, and students through the community to really make a difference in the actions that they're taking every day. So as we approach this throughout the year, we focus on a couple things. We focus on identity and self, and how you become identified as a climate activist and a climate action leader, we focus on community building, both in your local communities and in your schools, but starting to access this idea of global community. Because one of the really amazing things that we have in looking at those SDGs number 4 and number 13 is a commonality across the planet. Everybody's focused on education, and everybody is focused and impacted by the climate change problem. So when we talk about this, we have an opportunity to share our experiences, share our understanding, and really move the needle forward through this process. So when we do this process in Climate Action Schools, we spend time each and every month really interacting around specific topic areas in climate action, talking about the causes, the effects, the impacts in our communities, starting to look at this from a global scale, not just your local community as a whole. And we're starting to learn about these different processes. We're starting to talk about climate action through the arts, through storytelling, starting to use digital tools and different resources that are out there and accessible these days. And then, like I said before, the virtual exchange component is so very important, where we team schools together in groups of 4, where they're working on an international scale. The students are working with students, the teachers are working with teachers to really bring the learning to their communities, to real life, to make actions and make an impact in those communities of practice. So we develop that throughout the year, and we focus on a specific project. So you'll hear from some of our schools today about the projects that they've been working on, the initiatives that they've undertaken, and what amazing work that they've accomplished throughout the year thus far, and things that they have planned not only for this year, but as a systemic change within their organization, something that they're going to do forever, something that they're going to take forward with their learning and instructional programming. So that's where we really want to transition, is not just a one-off experience, but something that becomes part of you and part of your identity as an educator and a learner.
That's right. So with those 100 schools, today we have 5. I wish we had all day, all weekend to go through all 100, but we have 5 schools, and they're representing the world. So we're going to go first, Riley, to the United Kingdom. So I said we are here
Brookhouse
in the United
College.
States. That's right, Brookhouse College, which this is a program for middle school and high school students. And you're going to hear all about the wonderful things that they are doing. But for us here in the United States, for me, it's about the middle of the day, so about lunchtime. But for them, it is nighttime. So we're going to go to them. I'll be interested to see, is the sun shining? Is it dark out? I don't know yet. But I know their students, they're already off. So we're going to hear from 2 of the educators, Principal Ian and Educator Lucy, to share with us today about arts with climate action and sustainable development. So hi, Ian.
I think you're on mute, Ian.
We can't hear you yet. We see you. You look great. And I see lights on, so it might be dark out. My prediction might be correct. Tricky. It's an interesting technology moment for us here with this whole session. Ian, go ahead. Why don't you all keep working on your technology, and Riley and I can welcome in our second school, and we'll come right back to Brookhouse College to hear about arts and SDGs, because they have something really important to share about the halftime talk. But let's go over to our friends in New Jersey. So I know New Jersey, it's about lunchtime, and this will be with Kim and her students at Morris Union Jointure Commission. And I know, Kim, you all have been working on greenhouse and hydroponics and always doing lots of things. So how are you? Great to see you.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Spurlock. I'm the vice principal here at the Developmental Learning Center in New Jersey. It's Warren, New Jersey. Our students have a working lab in our school. It's the greenhouse. And the greenhouse, like I said, is a working lab where the students get to plant the seeds, water the plants, and then eventually they sell those plants to the staff. And we also plant stuff out in our garden. And I just want to share a video with you of the greenhouse that we created to show about our greenhouse.
That'd be great. And Kim, I see there's questions in the chat coming from the live audience. Did you feel the earthquake in New Jersey this morning?
Yes, we did. It was maybe an hour ago. So we're
Wow.
we're still shooken up as supposedly 4.6. Everybody's good. We just felt it in the building. Our comfort dog Hunter was with us. He didn't feel it. He just relaxed during the whole thing. But yes, we did feel it.
Wow. Well, we're thinking of everyone.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna try this.
All right, we're ready.
All right.
Welcome to the greenhouse of DLC Warren. We are trying to give DLC a greener and brighter future for students and people across the school and the world. DLC was founded in 2007 when we improved the school quality and tech every year to make sure that we are up to date. Our greenhouse was both inside and outside, a trait that very schools can't afford, which make our school totally unique. We grew sunflowers, plants, and so much more. We've been able to grow more plants during those five. We also stay the temperature of the greenhouse to make sure the plants stay warm for the plants to grow big and healthy during the colder seasons of the year. In the future, our greenhouse will be even bigger and more innovative as we develop more eco-friendly products and support more products. At DLC, you can do anything. As Alex, the mascot of the school, will always take care of students across the school. DLC, great ideas are always on. Always.
So that was our greenhouse. That was Alex, who was our presenter, who created the video. Like I said, our greenhouse has really been increasing over the years. We started with something small, and the students really enjoy working in the working lab for the greenhouse. This past year, I wish to say since last July, we increased our greenhouse to now hydroponics. Thanks to climate action, he gave us that idea. So we started our hydroponics, and I have a quick slideshow to show you just what the two hydroponics looks like. So let me just share that. Quick slideshow of our hydroponics. The first one is we have a large hydroponic system, which you see right there. We're growing. The students are learning how to take the seedlings from the greenhouse and put them into pots with stones and then into the hydroponic system. For the large hydroponics, we're currently growing pepper plants, which you see on the left, and there's a tomato plant. And then for our small hydroponics that we purchased is, like you can see right there, it's very small. It's a tabletop. And we are currently growing tomato plants, which you'll see on the left. Those are the small tomato plants. And the large plant is actually romaine lettuce. It just took off. Last week, the school was closed for spring break, and it just took off last week. That's it about our hydroponics and greenhouse.
Kim, that's awesome. Do you have any recommendations to our schools that are joining in live if they're just getting started on these types of initiatives? Any learnings you had, tips?
We learned to start small because we weren't sure. The large hydroponics that we purchased, the students really enjoy, and we're actually purchasing another one of those. Just be careful when you look at the hydroponics because some of them are on a system. This is what we found out, that's on a timer, but you actually have to be there to reset the timer. So we had another one that we can't use because it goes off. And if you're not here on the weekends, if someone doesn't push that start button, so that's the only roadblock we ran into. But otherwise, we're just growing plants that students want to grow to put in their garden. And also for this year, for climate action, we are growing milkweed and violet to help increase the pollinators in our area. So the students will be growing those in the hydroponics and that system, and then eventually we'll put them outside with the property service.
That's incredible. I mean, you're doing it like district-wide, making initiatives. So New Jersey, a really special place, being the first U.S. state to adopt and mandate climate education for all. So that means every student across every grade level. And I know you very much are committed to accessibility and making sure every student has a voice in these conversations. So you all have been leading the way the past few years. The world is watching now. So any last words of advice, Kim, for schools and students who are interested in taking action?
I just think, start small and enjoy it. The students are just amazed of what can happen, watching something small like that to the plants, to seeing the butterflies come back. It's just, I would just start small. Don't start big, start small, and then every year grow from there.
That's fantastic. Well, please send all of your students our best wishes, thinking of you all this weekend. Hopefully everyone in New Jersey and New York area is doing okay after the earthquake, but we appreciate all you're doing and thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Bye, Kim. All right, Riley, I see in the chat, we have some people saying, start small. And like we say, slowly add layers, coming from Mary Alice and her team. We definitely believe in that. So I know we have some more schools who are really eager to share. I think we can go now to Iman Academy, Riley, and we're going to zoom across the planet from New Jersey to Sri Lanka. So let's hear from them. I think they're coming up. Can you hear me, Riley? All right, Riley's working on getting Sri Lanka in.
I'm just going to jump in and just say, we get a lot of people backstage. I want to make sure that I'm pulling up the right one.
Okay, so this is...
Can you just slide in my, excuse me, my second screen, the other Justice EDU one? I'm just trying to share it.
I get it. Ta-da!
There it is.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Alice. Oh, there we are. All right, Sri Lanka, how's it going? We'd love to hear from you. I can't hear Sri Lanka though, Riley. Let's see. All right, so while Riley's getting them up and ready, I'm going to look and see in our chat. We have people joining in that I see. So hi to Mr. Moody in Pittsburgh. Great to see you. That's great. And we have the hashtag Global Student Showcase that I know people are using across all social platforms. Hi, Frank. Yes. How's it looking, Riley? So. All right, Riley, should we go over to Bullish Charter while we're working on Sri Lanka? So this is the world we live in. Riley and we move around from place to place, and sometimes we can get them in fast, and sometimes it takes a bit. But in the wings, who've been waiting all morning, eager to share. Hi, Kayla. Greetings to Bullish Charter School in California. It's great to see you all.
Hi.
Welcome. Thanks for being here and representing all of our work with Taking Action. And we're excited to talk to you all about your climate committee and your SDG projects today. Students from around the world are listening and they can't wait to hear from you. So maybe if you want to start, Kayla, with introductions about your school and your students, and then we'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll have them go ahead and talk a little bit about our school and where we're located. I'm wondering, do we have another Bullis backstage? We have some middle schoolers joining from our second.
Oh, great. Mary Alice, if there's another group of Bullis students from the middle school, we'd love to have them come on. That'd be awesome.
Okay, it might be under Lane or D. Thank you so much.
I don't see them, but I'm just going to say for everybody backstage, we have a private chat too. So if like you just let me know like the name that is underneath, I'll be able to pick up the right one.
Okay, thank you. I'll check in with them, but I'll have our elementary school students go ahead and get started. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to pull up some slides real quick. Okay. Sorry, we're a little new to StreamYard, but we're really excited. Okay. Can you see our slides? Awesome. Cool. Looks like we are good to go. Here we go.
Our school is Bullis Charter School. It is located in California, USA. It is in the Bay Area. We are presenting from a co-curricular class of 3rd through 5th grade called Eco Champions, Building a Sustainable School. I'm Utah.
I'm Gabby. And I'm Evie. 243 students between TK and 2nd grade and 514 students at BCS between 3rd and 8th grade took this survey so we could learn more about our school's assets and opportunities when it comes to making choices that are good for our planet. We looked at all of the surveys for our school's assets and opportunities. We looked at if they turned off lights, if they rode bikes or walked to school, if they had a composting system in their classroom, and if they unplugged devices when they were not in use.
In our BCS Eco Champions Co., we have 3 teams: recycling, compost, and energy savers. We made posters to hang up around our school to help us achieve our goal. I'm in the compost group.
I'm in the energy savers group. And I'm also in the compost group.
Okay, so we don't have a representative from our recycling team today. But our goal for the recycling team is to make sure all students know what can and cannot be recycled.
For the compost team, our goal is to help our environment and make our school greener by having a compost system.
Our goal is to let people know when they leave a room they should turn off lights and devices. Our school's lunch compost system is called My Green Lunch. We just learned that our school's wrappers and stuff to wrap our stuff is all compostable and recyclable. We want to have a place to recycle and compost at lunch. We are excited to see what we can accomplish this year.
Okay, so those were our elementary school friends. And were we able to have our middle schoolers join? It looks like they also updated their name to Bullis. Oh, Jen, can you hear us? Looks like we can't see or hear other people in the meeting.
Okay, we are definitely here behind the scenes.
Okay.
And I don't see another, but we might be full. So I'm going to have one of our team members just jump off to see if that helps.
Thank you so much. Were you able to see our slides okay?
The slides were fantastic, and your students, and to see the comments too. This is incredible work that you're doing, and you are inspiring other classrooms to say, how can we get involved? So while we're just waiting for that other group to join, can you give any tips on like, how do you get started? Like, how could another classroom, because what you're doing right now, there are classrooms around the world that say, I want to be like those students. I want to make a difference in my community.
What do you think, Yuta? Go
So
ahead.
first of all, our amazing teacher.
Oh, thank you.
And then also like our we have a for that. So like it helps us kind of like start to do things. And then so we planned and we made posters on Canva. And then we're planning to hang these around the school, and then so we can do this and that and like do other things. And then so we like just start off a little bit and then we go like bigger and then
Yeah.
This is fantastic. And I know that this is also an opportunity. Dr. Jennifer Williams, is it okay if I have you jump in? Because I feel like this is a great opportunity too to let people know, how do they get involved in projects like this?
Okay, that is great. Well, congratulations to Kayla and her elementary school students. Hopefully we'll hear from middle school in just a moment. So Kayla and Kim and others have been joining our projects, and we'd love to invite everyone to be a part of them. We have a number of projects that are focused on the UN SDGs. Right now, we are doing one around coding, Mary Alice, which I bet you'd be all about. So it's called Coding for Climate. And so it's in honor of Earth Month. I'll put the link here in the chat. Let me join. I'll put it in the private chat, Mary Alice, and if you want to share it with the group,
perfect.
Cool. That'd be great. And so classrooms are learning about an environmental topic, and then they go to a coding solution. So they're using coding tools. They're doing AI. They're using Mundo. They're using Minecraft for education, Fortnite, Lego. It's lots of cool things, Scratch. So we're learning so much about coding for climate, but we'd love to have you jump in. We also have our Lego project that is ongoing. So I'll drop the link in. Lego Group, Build the Change. So we have a number of projects that classrooms can participate in, and we'd love to have you all joining. So thanks so much.
Fantastic. So I'm still looking backstage.
Okay.
And I don't see another Bullis.
We'll keep watching for them,
Okay.
Kayla. And then if they come in, then we'll pop them back up. But we'll be excited to hear from them. Mary Alice, I think we can go back over to Ian and to Riley, and we're going to zoom back to the UK because they are ready to share about art. So hi, Ian. Hi, Lucy.
Can you hear us?
Yay, you sound fantastic.
Yay.
All right, how did you resolve our issue? You fixed it.
Well, it's all down to technology. We're down on the telephone dog and bone rather than the laptop. So
you made it work.
We're going to go basic. I'm hopeful that you can show some of our slides.
Yes, that'd be great.
We're kind of limited now, but that's great. That's really reassuring. Well, hello to the world. Amazing to listen earlier on to Heather and the team there. We learned an awful lot about Mundo, and we're looking forward as a community at Brookhouse College to being part of the project, perhaps working globally using AI and thinking about some of the opportunities to connect students across the world. But at Brookhouse College, we've worked with Take Action Global now for a year. I joined and was very privileged to join Jenny and Riley out at the New York UN Assembly. I'm looking up at New York at the moment on the news live and wishing everybody well there. I know there's been an earthquake of around 4.8 magnitude, so hoping everybody's well and safe. But what an amazing time when we actually shared our thoughts about the half-time, as it were, in the Sustainable Development Goals, reaching half-time and thinking about what needs to be done. An area that we are working on pretty passionately now at Brookhouse, not only in football and as a football academy with hopefully professional footballers in large numbers that get an education and also prepare for elite sports. One of our passions is also the arts. So we're hoping this year, as well as promoting projects on the pitch, but also in the classroom and particularly using the creative arts. So our premise is to develop a sense of empowerment and give students agency through their personal expression and the arts. I'm joined today by our assistant principal and our director of creative arts, Lucy. Lucy Clark will talk to the world about some of the work that she's doing across. You'll see one of our turtles there that's produced by one of Lucy's students last year around a project called Endangered Species. But we're going to look more broadly at endangered animals and think about the art that is in rubbish, interestingly, and how rubbish can be used in the context of waste to be both creative and empowering for our youngsters. If I can run through the slides though, Jen, that would be really good. That was one of the inspirations I had this year. I'm a massive U2 fan. Apologies for everybody around the world that's not even heard of U2, but that's the Sphere in LA. And this is one of our inspirations, the artist that produced this extraordinary montage of animals at the end of one of their songs, The Streets Have No Name. It's a montage of endangered species that was showcased across this amazing digital venue in Los Angeles. And that was one of the inspirations behind the project you're going to hear about in a moment. Okay, for our next slide, I think is a reference to our values in 3 words that we have at Brook House, which is to try and inspire through the love of learning, to encourage every student through care and support, with the aim of empowering them through language and through the arts, so that they have the strength and confidence of personal expression, to become advocates, to demonstrate agency and show leadership, both, as Riley was saying earlier on, locally in the UK, in Market Harborough, where we play football, but hopefully using platforms such as Take Action Global to get a voice on the global stage. And I think that that's predicated around collaboration. And it was amazing to hear 2 of the schools already describing how they collaborate using technology in a positive way, using AI in a positive way, to leverage their talents, their passions, and their impact on that global scale. I think that the music of U2 and the arts of creativity and children's expression are the vehicle to that sort of message across the world. We're going to listen now to Lucy, and she's going to talk a little bit about the project that she's involved in and maybe mention the artist that was responsible for that piece of work in LA.
Yes, hi everybody. I'm head of art teacher and assistant principal. The slide you're looking at the moment is one of the artists that we've used for our inspiration, and this lady, Ez Devlin, was the artist that produced the work that Ian spoke about before. On this slide, it shows her, she actually is famous for drawing really huge animals that are endangered. And if we go on to the next slide, we've also got another artist as well, David Shepherd. And he's also famous for doing paintings of endangered animals. So this year we've really focused on looking at different artists that we can use in our artwork. So here we are back to Ez Devlin. She's done a huge installation at the Tate Modern, really famous museum in London with the art gallery, where she's used all of her endangered animals to draw them really large and then put them together in an installation. If we can just go on to the next slide. If we get Jen, the next slide. There we go. So one of our ideas for one of our projects with the older students was to take drawings of animals, so the students could draw them really, really large and then come up with their own ways to present them and create their own kind of Ez Devlin installation of drawings. We also developed this project further by looking at a lot of other artists that were inspired by doing endangered animals, and we produced paintings for their exam, trying to highlight the plight of how artists can raise awareness of endangered animals around the world. So it's been very exciting. So that's what we've been doing with the older students. Ian's going to talk about some of the projects that we did together with the younger students, with the sculptures, with the turtle that you saw before. So if we move on to the next slide.
And that next slide, I know Riley will be excited by this one, is our mantra and our messaging. And it always amazes me about the goal, which has a great sporting reference, and the circularity of optimism and the circular economy that resonates so closely with the UN SDGs, whether it's 4 or whether it's 13, or frankly, all of the goals and how they interact in different ways, is something that we are, as a college in the UK, joined by 100 schools all over the world, and beyond that, embedding into our into our curriculum, and hopefully our national curriculum. Although I have to say, shout out to the UK, we're a little bit behind many parts of the world, and we've got a lot of catch up to do in these 7 years. But some of the boys you'll see on the next slide are involved in this project, and these are our youngest students. So Lucy is working with mainly the older students at that artistic piece. What we've also done is a program called Perspectives, and this is try to inspire our footballers, who are mainly kinesthetic and visual learners, to connect with not only their responsibility and obligations as young agents of change in the planet, but also think about how perhaps a future career in elite sport might provide them with the opportunities to make a difference in their community. So what they were challenged to do was to create sculpture using wire and using paper mache.
Yeah, newspaper. They worked in groups to help each other as well, even though they each produced their own sculpture. But they were encouraged to work collaboratively with each other to support each other during the process.
And over the slides, next couple of slides, you'll see perhaps a couple of the examples of the animals they produced. That's Malcolm's tiger, which was probably one of the most impressive of all of the pieces. And we put it in the school grounds to try and re-establish a bit of habitat in Harborough. Thankfully, there's no pandas, no tigers in our environment. There's no crocodiles, there's no polar bears, but let's think about this. There may not be many in the future anyway, if we're not careful. What we might have is predators, the wild wolf, and also the fox. Both of the wolf and the fox, of course, resonate with football clubs, Wolverhampton and Leicester, which connects us there. The next three slides that Jenny's showing you also represent a book. We watched the film Animal Farm and tried to connect Animal Farm to a more global animal planet, where the students were hopeful and trying to describe the world from the eyes of an elephant. That's Rosa's extract, that tries to think about how a wolf or an elephant, or even finally the turtle, might reflect upon the world in which they live and the way in which humans interact with animals. We've got one world. There's a super band, favorite band of ours out in England called James. They're releasing a yummy album at the moment. And on that album is a great song about our obligations as a world, not to own the world, but to actually work with and share the world, not to spoil it, but to work with it, to make it better and better. And that involves, I think, a real shift in the gear change when we think about the way in which we use rubbish, the way in which we think about all aspects of human life and use them in a way that can be far more positive. Lucy's now going to talk about the final piece of this, which is the art of rubbish, and a lovely project which she's involved in at the moment.
Yes, the idea is to get a school-wide initiative to raise awareness of using plastics and different things you might throw away. We're going to try and use them to create art pieces. And so the general idea is a future project. So everybody will be involved, collecting all the objects, and then we're going to create art pieces using those objects. And there's, I think you can see on the screen, some ideas for objectives of what we want to do, and some ideas of what our images may look like. So instead of throwing away our plastics and putting them in landfill, how can we use them to recreate objects of beauty, to kind of remind other people also to use recycling and sustainability in their world, in their daily life. So that's one of our future projects, and we would hope that the whole school would be involved in this, not just the students in the art room. So,
and just to close, I think it was so exciting to hear one of the presenters talk about how we should be using AI. We should be taking the opportunity, whether in primary or secondary school or at university, to actually look for the positives and the best use of AI. And I guess the same message with rubbish and plastic. Plastic has its value in context. And I think where there are opportunities to demonstrate positives, we should look to do that in a very hopeful and positive manner. There's a lot of climate anxiety around in England. It's a difficult ask sometimes to persuade government officials and even school officials to embrace the big picture. But in order to do that, I think we have to start simple. And I don't think there's anything more simple than being able to express yourself through music and the arts and football. And that's what we hope to achieve. So thank you, Jenny. And thank you, Riley, for this opportunity for working with TAG and this small opportunity today to share the work that we do across the planet. Thanks so much, Jenny.
We're back, Ian and Lucy. That was so incredible. And you'll have to take some time on the YouTube to look at all the comments, but so many fans of arts and animals and the SDGs. So I think what you shared really resonated with a lot of the classrooms joining in. I want to make sure to share too, because you have a really unique design at your school at Brook House. So you have students that are enrolled in your program from all around the world. So how many countries are represented in your school currently?
Yeah, Jenny, we have 60 countries. We only have 200 students, but they are represented as elite sports athletes from over 60 countries at the moment. A lot of athletes from Nigeria. We've got 2 students from Sudan. We've got 15 from Australia, from Bermuda, from the States. And a couple of English footballers, only 2 actually, that would be passport holders in the UK. So you can imagine a world that we're living in the moment, which sometimes feels as if it's shrinking, and we're not embracing all that opportunity of giving everybody a platform to work and travel and have freedoms. It's pretty unique at Brook House in the UK. It's really precious what we do. And our hope is to really give youngsters, girls and boys, the opportunity of living their passion, which in the most case is on the football pitch. But I have to say, one of their happiest places outside the pitch is actually in the art classroom. For some reason, they can be expressive and they can be calm and mindful, and it takes some of the competitive pressures away and enables them to be collaborative in a really different way. Lucy, is that about right?
Yeah, I think it's almost a form of art therapy to be able to come into the art room and do mindful art and use different materials and move around the art room and be physical, but also be engaged and relaxed. So yeah, it's a great place to be. We have lots of very enthusiastic art students.
Got to show you the football though, Jen. The art of football, the art of the SDGs, the colour of those 17. I don't know who chose all the colours, but the circularity, the colour, the optimism is something that we're trying to connect with as well. And I think sport and the arts are one of the ways that brings everybody together. You can watch, you can participate in different ways, and I think you can express. We have a lot of artwork that originates around sport, as well as some of the projects we've described today.
That's great. Well, I always have my ball ready. Mine's not inflated, but I know whenever I'm on a call with Ian, I'm going to get to see his. So, well, as we know in our world out working, that we are becoming more and more of a global citizen focus. This is what we're going to see in schools. So we've always been so interested in working with you. You all are living it. You are a wonderful example for us, and your students in their creativity and curiosity really inspire. So thanks for taking time on your Friday evening to join us and share about the work at Brook House. So many thanks to you both.
Take care, world.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks, Lucy. All right. Well, Riley, I think we should hop over because we have some friends joining us over in Africa. So I know we're going to be only having a few more minutes, and I want to make sure that we say hello to Rachel, who will share a little bit, but she travels all around the continent of Africa. And I think she's in Kenya right now, but she's joined by Pacific in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So hi, Rachel. How are you? Let's see if we can get their sound going. I know the Wi-Fi might be challenging. Hi, Pacific. Bonjour.
Bonjour, bonjour. Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
And so Pacific is going to share a little bit, and he's speaking in French. So Pacific, we invite you to share a little bit about your program.
Merci beaucoup. Nous sommes contents de participer dans cette activité. C'est une... Merci beaucoup. Nous sommes contents de participer. Asante sana. Nous sommes contents de participer dans cette activité. Notre langue, c'est la langue française et nous ne saurons pas nous exprimer fortement en anglais. Nous sommes contents de prendre part à cette activité qui a consisté à préparer nos enfants aux objectifs du développement durable. nous avons instruit, nous avons appris aux enfants, nous avons 60 enfants que nous avons encadrés durant cette période. Nous les avons appris les objectifs de développement durable et nous nous sommes concentrés sur l'ODD 13, l'objectif 13, la lutte contre les changements climatiques, ainsi que l'objectif 5, l'égalité entre les sexes. Et nous avons montré aux enfants l'importance de protéger le climat actuellement. Nous avons montré aux enfants qu'il est utile qu'on protège le climat. On devrait participer avec les enfants aujourd'hui. Malheureusement, les contextes dans lesquels nous évoluons, c'est les contextes de guerre et qu'on n'a pas trouvé les moyens de déplacer les enfants pour qu'ils puissent participer dans cette activité en ligne. Et surtout que c'est une période de vacances de Pâques. Et nos activités ont consisté à montrer aux enfants ce qui nous entoure, le monde, comprendre qu'est-ce que l'environnement, comprendre les arbres, comprendre l'eau, comprendre le climat, comprendre ce qui peut nous amener à obtenir les changements climatiques que nous sommes en train de vivre actuellement. Nous avons montré aux enfants que la température, je ne sais pas si vous me captez. Nous avons montré aux enfants que la température qui est en train d'augmenter aujourd'hui, c'est la conséquence de nos actions envers le climat. Et les enfants ont compris réellement qu'il y a augmentation de la température et que quand il y a augmentation de la température, nous devons prendre des actions pour lutter contre les changements climatiques. Et en termes d'action, nous, on n'a pas eu des moyens, très sophistiqués parce qu'on n'a pas accès à de nouvelles technologies, de grande envergure. Nous avons montré aux enfants les actions qu'ils peuvent faire avec les petits moyens qu'ils ont. Nous avons montré aux enfants comment ils peuvent procéder pour planter les arbres, comment ils peuvent protéger un arbre, comment ils peuvent planter l'arbre, comment ils peuvent économiser les ressources en eau qu'on peut disposer dans notre domicile. Nous avons amené les enfants à découvrir certains endroits, des endroits qui peuvent les faciliter à comprendre comment le changement climatique est en train de s'opérer dans le monde. Nous les avons amenés dans d'autres environnements comme au bord du lac, où nous avons montré aux enfants comment il est important d'assurer la propriété des milliers qui sont aux côtés du lac afin que nous ayons un environnement qui est propre. Nous avons aussi appris aux enfants comment ils peuvent sensibiliser les autres. Nous avons voulu faire des enfants les vecteurs de messages afin qu'ils puissent propager des messages sur les changements climatiques auprès d'autres enfants dans le monde. Et cela s'est manifesté par des actions de sensibilisation que nos enfants que nous avons formés ont fait dans d'autres écoles d'ici, dans la ville de Goma. Nous avons visité 4 écoles et nos enfants ont passé le message. Ils ont passé le message auprès d'autres enfants de la ville pour les demander de prendre des actions de grande envergure pour la lutte contre les changements climatiques. À ce qui concerne l'objectif 5, le gender, égalité entre les sexes, nous avons montré aussi les enfants que les filles ne doivent pas rester en arrière, qu'ils soient petites ou grandes, ils doivent aussi contribuer au développement. Ils doivent participer aux actions du développement dans le monde. C'est ce que nous avons montré aux enfants, qu'il est très capital qu'ils prennent part au développement parce que nous devons commencer par le bas âge. Nous avons aussi initié les enfants à certaines actions, notamment à confectionner les objets d'art à partir des matières plastiques. Nous avons envoyé quelques images récemment où les enfants sont en train de collectionner quelques objets d'art à partir des objets classiques et des objets plastiques. Et les enfants ont été fortement intéressés et ils sont actuellement en train de les pratiquer. Malheureusement, nous n'avons pas eu l'opportunité de vous partager les images parce que nous n'avons pas eu accès aux infrastructures qui contiennent nos éléments. Mais le plus important, c'est ce que nous avons initié dans les enfants, dans la lutte contre les changements climatiques. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, merci. Thank you, Rachel, for inviting Pacifique to share today. Rachel, we'll have to move to our next class before we wrap up. I know that we have presenters waiting in the background here. Do you want to share anything about Pacifique's comments or anything else that's happening in Africa so the rest of the world knows? We're so grateful for you spending time with us today.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. I think I can take 2 minutes because of time. Yeah, so Pacific was just like expressing gratitude for the opportunity that you gave the students in Congo to participate in this climate action and to be one of the climate action schools. And for the project that we are doing in Congo is like helping students to take care of the environment and planting more trees, because we all understand that DRC and specifically in Goma, it's a war-torn country, and during those types of war, the environment is always like distracted. So we are just like emphasizing the students to always plant more trees to make sure that the country is coming back to its green nature and to make sure that they're preserving the environment, just in a nutshell.
Thank you, Rachel. So I think a wonderful call to action for our classrooms that are joining today from all around the world, the importance of planting trees and caring for trees, and also making global connections. So I'm hopeful today that people joining with the YouTube link, if you aren't a speaker of the French language, please be sure to translate Pacifique's message and hear from his words of what they're experiencing in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Are you going to be heading back, Rachel, from Kenya to Congo next, or?
Yes, in May.
Okay, that's great. Well, you'll have to give us updates, and we'd love to talk with you when you return there. So.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Pacifique. Merci. All right,
Thank
Riley.
you.
Thank you so much. I know we have some middle school students who have been waiting in the wing, and we're only going to have probably 1 minute, but we don't want to leave without seeing our friends at Bullish Charter in the middle school program. You all made it in. That's great. Kayla, who is with you today?
Awesome. We have Lane and Dee here. Can you unmute Lane and Dee and say hi?
Hi.
So Lane and Dee have been working on a really cool project where they were challenged to come up with a sustainable business idea. So they're going to tell you a little bit about the business that they created. So I'm going to go ahead and share these slides again real quick. And here we go. Oop. Let's see. Can you see my slides right now?
No.
Okay, sorry, there we go. Okay.
Okay, so hi, as you already know, I'm Melody, or Dee.
And I'm Lane.
And we are two members of the business Essence and Upcycled, which is our climate action group for Intercession. And so our define statement, which is sort of our goal for our product, is that the Essence and Upcycle team wants to create a product that reuses materials and is completely natural, so that people who use our product can take a small step towards helping with the amount of chemicals and waste that is emitted or put into the atmosphere.
So our problem, which is the problem that we were trying to solve with our business, is waste in the environment and chemicals emitted into the atmosphere are very harmful for Earth. Harmful chemicals cause direct damage to the troposphere after the composition and function of atmospheric layers and ozone layer depletion, thinning of the ozone layer. And not to mention, there's poor waste management can cause air pollution and soil contamination.
And our solution, or our step towards solving this problem, is our product, which will be and is completely natural and free of waste.
And our product, so for our vision statements, our vision for our business is to start improving the amount of chemicals emitted into the atmosphere. And we want to create a product that will not only be improving the issue, but also use recycled materials to help the issue.
Yeah, and our mission is to show our generation about how we can be eco-friendly to our environment.
So the explanation of an idea is our product is an eco-friendly candle that is waste-free. The wax is soy wax, and the wick is a wood wick to minimize burning. And the base of our candle are made from completely recycled materials. All of the essences are natural, and unlike most eco-friendly candles, our candle is paraffin-free.
So over here we have a little photo. It's a little blurry, but as you can see, there's a little base at the bottom. That's our base, and then there's the candle, which is, as we already said, it's a soy wax, and there's not much to it because it's pretty obvious and we explained it. But yeah, that's pretty much our idea and our product.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for being patient and waiting and coming in, and you got here, and I know you joined early in the morning, so you're in California.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a full day of school ahead of you. So thank you so much to you all. Thank you to Kayla, your incredible teacher who continues to inspire us. So we will talk to you all soon. Hopefully you'll keep us updated on your progress over the next few months.
Awesome. Thank you
so much.
Bye, Bullis Charter School. See you soon.
Bye.
All right, Riley, let's see if Mary Alice is coming back in, because I think we have had an hour of action, and this has been our behind the action. And right, hi Lori, hi Mary Alice.
Oh my gosh, that was really, really exciting. And there were so many multiple like moving parts. And when you think about like the excitement of, you know, connecting globally, your group had it all. And there, I mean, I felt like we just took, like, I need to get some passport stamps.
Let's do it.
An
Let's go visit
unbelievable
them.
learning experience, and what a wonderful way to showcase the work that you're doing, what Take Action Global, what it means. It's not just, you know, lip service. This is that actionable piece. And before we get to our next session, it would be wonderful. How can, like, what is that? What's that call to action to get involved? I know we shared some links, but one last piece from you, Jen.
All right. So what we always say to any classrooms who are interested in getting involved in the UN Sustainable Development Goals, there is a poster with all of those beautiful 17 goals. The best thing you can do is print that out and post it in a place where others may see it, and then use that as a moment for an invitation to share. And you don't have to be the experts in any or all of the goals. You can just say, this is something I'm curious about. I'd love to learn with you. Are you interested in joining me? So be sure to get the word out on the SDGs. We'd love to have you participate in any of our programs. You can find us online, on website, or on social media at Take Action Global. And thanks to you. Good luck to all of your presenters today. I know you have an amazing lineup of sessions with.
And we get to see you again on Earth Day.
That's right.
Yes, and we'll make sure our tech issues are ready.
We will be ready. So we will be back on April 22nd. Riley and I are flying to New York City to be at the UN, and we're going to come live from one of our amazing schools there, right in Manhattan. So thank you, Lori. Thank you, Mary Alice. We will see you all soon. Thanks for giving us a little extra time. We wish you a
thank
great
you for
day.
your understanding. Perfect.
Of course. See you soon.
All right. Perfect.
Bye, everyone.
Great seeing you all.
Okay, Lori, how about you? Do you feel like you just ran a marathon?
I do. I absolutely do. I've got so many screens up. And on top of that, my phone is blowing up because there's still Earth